if you look at the fact that, we are not exactly on the same page when it comes to the Ukraine conflict, yet President Biden convened a summit of the Quad leaders in which he says, I understand where India is coming from. And I want to assure all the Quad leaders that our focus on the Indo-Pacific will not falter because of the Ukraine, because of Europe. We will continue that focus on the Indo-Pacific. The Quad will continue to be important. And that India's sort of position, where it comes from, is something that we can understand. That's very important because the US views the relationship as a strategic partnership that transcends some of the minor differences that could come in your approach and your thinking on certain issues. And that's important for both countries as we move along. It's important that strategic, what we call a global comprehensive strategic partnership, is taken forward by both sides, irrespective of who becomes president or prime minister. The larger picture is not lost sight of. President Biden did not allow many of the small and irritants that could creep into the relationship. He kept the Democratic Party and Congress at a certain, I would say, standoff position when it came to handling the relationship, because he felt that this was an important relationship. So it's all the more critical that as President Biden demits office, the two leaders meet, as they would do shortly, to take stock of where we are and also to look at where we could go forward. Because if Vice President Kamala Harris becomes president, there is expected to be continuity. And at any rate, at the official level, it's important that the message of that, I would say, continuity and momentum in relations is continued. So it's a very important meeting from the bilateral perspective. It's got a plurilateral perspective in the Quad. It's got a multilateral perspective in the United Nations. And of course, it's got a community perspective, which is absolutely essential when it comes to the United States and the Indian community there. So just to put it in context, but again, reiterating the point that there are challenges, we should be under no doubt that those challenges could persist, could come up in a more visible manner in the next year. But I think what is important is that we keep our eye on the ball. We continue to work on the relationship. The fact that we are going to host the next Quad meeting is very important also, because a new US president and a new Japanese prime minister will come to India to attend the Quad summit next year, probably. And this will give us not only an opportunity to interface directly with some of our key partners, but would also allow that relationship to be taken forward by a new leadership in both these countries.
Ambassador Sugar, I just want to, touch upon, while there's been a lot of rumors with regards to whether at all Prime Minister Modi is going to meet the former President Trump. He's already made an announcement saying that he would be meeting Prime Minister Modi. Does that really have any sort of an impact? Because that has led to a lot of speculations and a lot of debate over the fact that whether at all should we really be putting our entire effort on building our relationship with President Trump, if at all that does not work out and you have President Kamala Harris really coming in. Are we reading too much into it, if at all, even if there is a meeting between the former president and Prime Minister Modi?
Well, Prime Minister Modi knows President Trump well because he has dealt with him extensively when he was president of the United States. You have to recall that we had the famous Howdy Modi event in Houston, attended by both President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, and then the Namaste Trump event in India in 2020. But having said that, my sense is that the Prime Minister will meet both contenders, Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And of course, I don't know exactly how the schedule goes, but generally the attempt would be to meet both, because we always emphasize on the bipartisan nature of the relationship, and we would, I think, be more comfortable reaching out to both sides. Don't forget that Prime Minister Modi knows Vice President Kamala Harris also quite well, having met her on more than one occasion, 2021 and last year, in her capacity as Vice President. And so there is a good dynamic there as well. So I think it makes sense to meet both of them, if that's possible in scheduling terms of all concerned.